Good morning and a very warm welcome to the 63rd edition of Water Talk organized by National Water Mission, Ministry of Jal Shakti, Government of India. This series is an initiative of the National Water Mission to provide a platform to enable meaningful discussions on water resource management in India and bring forward the efforts undertaken by organizations and individuals in that direction. It is also a platform to encourage citizens in doing their bit towards making India a water secure nation. Because as we all know, when it comes to water secure nation, we need all hands on the deck. But before we begin with today's session, let us first watch a short video highlighting the role of National Water Mission in fostering the objective of water resource management in India. As we all saw in the video, that it is important to bring in the people and the community together to realize the objective of a water secure nation. And as our Honorable Prime Minister also rightly highlighted, that when people join a movement, it is then that they realize the significance and also realize the potential of a movement. So it is now my honor to welcome Ms. Archana Verma, Mission Director of National Water Mission, Ministry of Jal Shakti. Thanks a lot, ma'am, for being here with us today. It is also my honor to welcome Ms. Smita Vats, Founder Director of ITIHAAS, Indian Traditions and Heritage Society. Thank you, ma'am, for joining us for the 63rd Water Talk. I would briefly like to introduce Smita ma'am to our audience who have joined us. Through Itihas, Smita ma'am works extensively with the tourism departments of major states to design heritage walks and sustainable heritage practices. She's dedicated to bringing youth into mainstream heritage education, tourism, and management, and has trained and upskilled over 10,000 guides, including women and persons with disabilities. She also drives heritage education programs reaching over 5 lakh students annually, with a strong focus on water conservation awareness among students. She, along with her team at Itihas, educates school going youth on water conservation practices. As we can see on the screen today, a lot of school children have joined us, and they're really excited to hear from both Smita ma'am and Archana ma'am on how they can become young water warriors. So, really excited to have all the schools and all the students here with us today. Thank you for joining us, and a very warm welcome to all of you. Today's session is a really important one. We all know that water conservation is a shared responsibility. And what's better to start young and to learn from a young age how to do our bit in conserving water. So, through her presentation today on the topic Understanding Water at a Young Age, Smita ma'am will share with us how Itihas is helping young people and students to understand the value of water through the lens of heritage and real world experiences, shaping them as young water warriors. A really interesting and exciting topic. And I hope everybody, all the audiences and the children have a wonderful experience today in the session. But before we begin with Smita ma'am's presentation, I request Archana ma'am to share with our audience how important it is to engage young children to build a responsible and water conscious generation and guide the students who have joined us today how they can become the water warriors from a young age. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Ananya. Welcome, Smita. It was long awaited. I really wanted to, have you as one of the speakers because you are really passionate about Itihas and also about water. So before I begin, since I can see APJ, Pritampura, Pacific World, and Dell, it says. I will ask a question which I generally ask the kids. So this question of mine is to this young lady who has asked me a question. Meera. Who is Meera? Can you put Meera on the mic? Mita, you've said Meera. Okay,
Yeah,
Meera.
Mira is the school's name. So any
Okay.
child from there can come up from Mira model.
So Meera model.
Good morning, ma'am. This is Samaya from Meena Model School.
Hi, Samaya.
Uh,
So
so,
nice. So, Samaya, just answer me a question which I always ask if I see kids in the audience. Have we had climate change before?
yes, ma'am, we had climate change before. Climate change started when the ozone hole was formed due to the extensive use of CFCs. So, and because of that, many glaciers in Antarctica started melting, and the use of air conditioners also increased the uh, climate change, and climate change is still going on, but we are working excessively to reduce it and make our world healthier.
Yeah, that's a beautiful reply to the present climate change, which is happening post the Industrial Revolution. But
Thank you.
have we had climate change before? Like since the beginning of the world?
Ma'am, for this, I don't think climate change has happened before because first of all, the air was really clean that time, and for that also the health bird was healthy, and many trees and mountains and fishes were also doing their work, and air was clean. Yes,
Wow, she seems to be a pretty bright one. There's some boy who's raising hands from Prudence School, Ashok Vihar. Can we put him on mic?
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. Please sit down so that I can see your face. Yeah, Prudence School.
Yes, ma'am, I have sat down.
Yeah, what's your name?
Ma'am, my name is Arif Tomar. I'm from class 6C from Prudence School, Shakti.
Yes. So my question was, have we seen climate change before? Before, much before what we are seeing now.
Yes, ma'am, climate change started when the ozone hole was discovered in the late 1900s. It started as glaciers started melting. Now wildfires are also starting due to the now invention of modern cars. Ma'am, this also led to Ma'am, this also led to wildfires, which again contribute to the ozone layer depleting. Then, when we use air conditioners, the thing that's helping us is also really toxic for the environment. The use of carbon monoxide in fuels in cars is also not good for the environment. A treaty was signed, but right now, as we can see, many factories do not use filters. If we use filters, we can see that many of the heavier minerals that are in factories, it turns to a really whitish smoke other than blackish gray smokes. These led to global warming.
So brilliant. Both of you, Samaya and Tomar, brilliant answers. But I'm still not getting the answer I'm looking for. I'm looking for an answer that is climate change a product of just the post-industrial revolution happenings in the world? Was there no climate change? Was there no,
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'll give you a hint. There were dinosaurs once.
Yes, ma'am. The last ice age lasted around 12,000 BCE ago. After
Yes.
that, only the glaciers and a few snow-capped mountains are left. Otherwise, the whole Earth it was surrounded with a thick blanket of ice.
Wow, that is what the answer I was looking for. So now that Tomar, you've answered that question, you'll answer the next one. What is the difference? What is the difference between climate change then, when the whole Earth? Hey, Tomar, come back and sit.
And the difference between climate change there and climate change now was that climate change was mainly influenced due to the sun's heat, and it was a really natural process that didn't cause a lot of problem to the environment, whereas the climate change that's happening now, it releases a lot of carbon monoxide and other heavy minerals into the air. Like in Delhi, if we see, there is a huge mountain of trash, and whilst the government has started doing initiatives on returning it back to normal by recycling the waste still remains, and to this day people who were born earlier still have some certain problems with breathing.
Wow, I think Smita, first time a kid has answered what I always ask. I think you should be given some kind of, trophy. by the ITIHAAS Foundation. So yes, this is what I was trying to say, that earlier, whatever changes were happening was because of natural phenomenon. But now whatever is happening is because of human intervention in our, zeal to industrialize, in our zeal to consume everything that is, there on the planet. Human intervention post-industrial revolution has accelerated the pace of climate change. So it's not that climate change was or is a new phenomena. You never know, a meteor may hit us and we may again disappear. But that would be a natural reason, not because sapiens decided to conquer the world. They decided all other species are, their slaves. And so we human beings are people who need to rule the earth, and therefore we can, do whatever with the planet and get away with it. So this is the difference which, Tomar, you are the first student who has answered it right. That earlier it was natural, now it's human, it's anthropomorphic. So we that's why, the importance of us understanding, and especially you kids understanding, is very central to the to the interventions, to the National Water Mission, to the Jal Shakti Abhiyan campaign. You are central to our mission because you are the future generation. Nobody understands water better than you, and nobody will be affected because of lack of water than your generation. Because we are all going to die in, 25, 30 years. But it is you kids who will suffer if you don't save water. It's your generation which is going to suffer. We already are seeing it. You see it in, I don't know, Preetam Pura. Yeah, please go take your seat. So we are already, seeing it in many places. Cape Town, which is the capital of South Africa, there the government just bowed down. They said we can't do a thing. We see it in Chennai, we see it in Delhi, we see it in Bangalore. We see it today. For me to tell you that save water is something which I don't need to tell you because you already are so aware. So the whole objective of the National Water Mission, the Jal Shakti Abhiyan Catch the Rain is to get all of you together to spread the message of water conservation, especially St. Thomas. Nishika, you want to ask a question? We can put her on. Nishika,
Nishika,
just
you want to say something?
unmute yourself. Huh.
Yes, yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I was saying my Buaji aunt is in Jal Shakti. So she sometimes told me about what happened there and what is the importance of water sometimes. She brings the notebooks of the Jal Shakti. She tells about you also sometimes.
Okay, thank you. So that was a paid advertisement. But yes, if we have officers who take back water to their home, that's great. So kudos to your bua that she is spreading awareness about water. Now the thing is that the whole objective of Jal Shakti Abhiyan Catch the Rain is that we have to get the youth and the students, the kisans, the self-help group women, all these four important pillars of society together. Because you already heard Honorable Prime Minister saying, only when the community gets together can we bring a change. And that community action can either be positive or it can be negative, like, we are also seeing Gen Z protesting and changing governments in very violent forms. We saw it in Nepal right now, a little while ago. So you see, uh, your role is fundamental because you are going to sit in important positions, you're going to do important work, or even if you become a homemaker, saving water should always be at the forefront of your thought. And you know what I always tell the kids, that saving water is not rocket science. And do you know that just by saving one bucket of water every day, just by saving one bucket, you in a month can save 1,000 liters of water. Just by fixing a leaky tap, which is just you see and you ignore, you feel that it's hardly anything, you can save 1,000 liters of water. Just by asking your parents not to wash their cars with pipes and to use buckets, you can save 1,000 liters of water. Just by switching off the tap while you are brushing and using it only when required, you can. So these little actions, you don't need to go and, become an activist and a water warrior. You just need to do these small actions to become a water warrior, just water positive action. You can also check your school, go and see whether, toilet taps are leaking and put in a complaint to the management that, taps are leaking, or put water efficient taps just by putting a small, I forget the name, it's a small fix in the tap. The water flow remains huge, but the tap, the less water flows through the tap. So just by, fixing your shower with low flow fixtures, fixing your taps with low flow fixtures, you can all contribute to the thousands and thousand liters of water that India needs to save. You just go to your school, do a water audit in your home, and you'll see that you're making a difference. And you can also form these water clubs. In Assam schools, children have become Jalduts. They have formed clubs called Jalduts, and they go to the community, monitor the quality of water, and then they send to the government via, there's an app that, here the water quality is bad, here the tap is leaking. So it's amazing how much difference, kids can bring to, policy, how much your actions can affect policy, and your actions can save water. Do you know that India is the biggest extractor of groundwater? We extract 25% of our groundwater, which is more than US and China combined. And that is why you are seeing, if anybody is from Himachal or from Uttarakhand, you're seeing land subsiding. That's because, you're extracting groundwater, so it leads to land subsiding. It leads to landslides. So there are myriad repercussions to small actions that we do if we waste water. We are polluting our rivers. You see plastics thrown around. While walking on the road, we just throw plastic everywhere. All that plastic goes and chokes our rivers. We are encroaching on our water bodies, and we are building houses there. We are encroaching our floodplains of rivers and building houses. And then saying that, government is not protecting us. How can government protect you if you encroach on the floodplain of the river or the water body? It will reclaim its land. The river will reclaim its land. So you see, these little actions, which, in many countries, it is the youth which has started this movement for water conservation. And we do hope that India shall replicate it. I do hope that ITIHAAS Foundation will be a vanguard in this. And so I'm so delighted to meet all of you. And whatever you take back or not take back from this podcast or show, one thing, even if, one thing you can take back is that water is not there forever if we don't save it. If you just carry this thought that if you don't save water, it is not there forever. So with that, I thank you all for coming, and I hand over to Ananya for...
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thanks a lot for your insightful words and guiding the young children here how they can contribute by doing their bit towards water security. And I now request Smita ma'am to kindly bring her presentation on screen and start with
So
her
just
address.
before the presentation comes on, the presentation seems to have lived its life out because Archana ma'am has said so many more valuable things for all the children here. Archana ma'am, firstly, thank you so much for having us here and organizing this for us. It really helps reach out to all the students together. And I know that you come for our Water Warrior certification, but there you get to meet only a few select students, and here they all get to hear you. And I'm sure that gives a huge boost to the efforts that they are already making, and a lot of encouragement because they hear it from you. They get bored of hearing us sometimes because they hear us so often. So thank you so much. And this will be of immense value to all our schools. I'll quickly run through this presentation, and some points we'll stop to ponder, which are areas which Archana ma'am spoke to you about. Are you all tired sitting? थोड़ा सीधा बैठ जाएं so that I know कि सब statue नहीं है. थोड़ा हिल सकते हो. Okay, great. So we have some live bodies. Otherwise, it looked like you're all frozen. So, water, I have learned in my many years at ITIHAAS, is one of the toughest things to understand because we take it so much for granted. We believe, and I'm sure all of you agree, कोई हमारे स्कूल की वाटर बॉटल भर देता है, हम उसको लेके स्कूल आ जाते हैं, वो खाली हो जाती है, खत्म होती है, हम फिर से भर लेते हैं, एक दूसरे पे थोड़ा फेंकते हैं, थोड़ा गिरता है, and of course water is a lot of fun. And living in the city, and a city like Delhi, many of us are privileged in many ways because we have access to that water. It's very easy for us to refill, right? But I want you to really look at this first slide. Everywhere in the country, na, bache, it's not easy to refill water. वो बहुत दूर से आता है, बहुत मेहनत से आता है आपके घर में, तो खत्म हो जाता है तो किसी को दूर से लाना पड़ता है. हमारे साथ क्या होता है that water comes to us. We don't go to water now. Right? So that's a big difference in the last few years. And because it comes to us, it is so easy. The access is so easy. So I want you all to write down a word, which is access. And think about it. Because while you're young, and these are big concepts for you to understand, like Archana ma'am said, there are things you can do. And that's what we're here to talk about. You don't have to dig a well, but you have to understand कि आपके पास बहुत आसानी से आ रहा है. तो उस आसानी को वैल्यू करें. Okay, let's just move ahead and we'll run through it quickly. You all know that there is water on the surface of the earth. We've got rivers, we've got glaciers, we've got ponds, we've got lakes. हमें दिखता बहुत पानी है. But okay, since we've moved so quickly to the next slide. So you know that there is surface water and there is groundwater. And you all heard Archana ma'am say how much percentage of groundwater are we pumping out and using? You remember it, you don't have to give me an answer. We're using more than what America and China together use. We are pumping out our groundwater, which literally means हम जमीन को खोखला कर रहे हैं अंदर से. उसके अंदर कुछ सब कुछ खींच रहे हैं हम. So that's not a very, that's right, 25% from Salvan Public School. Guntas has just written, and I'm sure all of you knew the answer as well. Now, when we used hand pumps, when our access was through wells, then we did not pump out water so quickly and so desperately. But today, because we've got this huge thing called boring का pump, सबके घर में है ना, काफी लोगों के घर में है, तो हम पानी को बहुत तेजी से खींच लेते हैं बाहर. And if you try this at home, you empty something out, it tends to cave in, it tends to break, right? So that's very, very important that we don't pump it out as quickly as we are doing. The Bauli is here only because many of you with us visit Baulis across the country. Largely, I think this group visits in NCR region. We were there day before with the school. And all your workbooks have this lovely drawing at the back. अगर आप सब अपनी वर्कबुक देखेंगे, ये एक टैटू है. टैटू पता है ना क्या होता है? ये एक टैटू है जो हजारों साल पुराना है, and it represents a bauli. If you look at the lines, they represent a step, जो सीढ़ी अंदर जाती है, the step well, the steps of the well. There are flowers in the corner which represent greenery, and there's water inside. Now, why is this important? Because we are coming back to what ma'am discussed at the start of the session, that water was the main resource that we valued from the time that civilization began and predating that as well. And we're going back, all of you are grade 6 and above. You've studied the Indus Valley civilization or the Mesopotamian civilization, Egyptian civilization. जहां भी लोग बसे, जहां पे भी शहर बसे, वहां पानी जरूरी था. In Delhi, we have a city that was abandoned because पानी खत्म हो गया था वहां पे. उस शहर का नाम आपको पता शायद नहीं होगा, that is तुगलकाबाद. वहां पानी खत्म हो गया. Whereas मेहरौली एक जगह है जहां उस इलाके को एक मेहर मिली थी. मेहर क्या होती है? ब्लेसिंग. किसी का नाम होगा जरूर आपकी क्लास में, मेहर. प्लीज डोंट गो अहेड तीशा, प्लीज होल्ड, गो बैक. थैंक यू. नो, जस्ट टू द बाउलीज. या सो मेहरौली का नाम सुना होगा कुछ लोगों ने, कुतुब के पास है. मेहरौली को एक मेहर मिली थी एक संत हकीम से, जिन्होंने कहा था दैट इस इलाके में हमेशा पानी रहेगा. इट वॉज अ ब्लेसिंग गिवन टू दैट एरिया, एंड दैट्स व्हाई दैट एरिया वाज कॉल्ड मेहर वाली जगह, क्योंकि वहां मेहर मिली थी. एंड इवन टुडे, more than 1,000 years later, we still call it Mehroli. So, you know, water is in the history and heritage of water is in our DNA. We always need water. The Baulis in olden days were places where people could go to water, क्योंकि सब लोग तो नदी पे जा नहीं सकते. और पाइप्ड वाटर जैसे आज हमें सरकार देती है, हमें एक्सेस देती है, पहले वो नहीं पॉसिबल था. तो पानी के पास आपको जाना पड़ता था, और उसके लिए ये बहुत सुंदर बावलियां बनी हैं, कहीं उसको वाव कहते हैं, कहीं बावली कहते हैं. एंड आई रिक्वेस्ट ऑल ऑफ यू टू लुक अप दीज बावलीज एट होम. It helps you understand and connect to water, to the beauty of water, to the blessings that water gives. तो पानी को हम अलग तरीके से भी देखें और उसके बारे में सोचें that there is a blessing to water. आपके घर में जब कोई स्विगी वाला भैया आता है, क्या जोमेटो वाला भैया आता है, आप कभी उनको कहते हैं भैया पानी पियोगे? आप कहते हो थैंक यू, कितना हुआ? So water is not transactional only. Water is connected to beliefs, practices, festivals, life, greenery, soil, earth. It is a interdisciplinary thing, and of course it is an ethical area to study. पानी पिलाने से बरकत मिलती है, पर आज हम लोग पानी खरीदते हैं तो वो ट्रांजैक्शनल हो गया है. So, we must start thinking of water as a non-transactional item, something we have to value. Because like ma'am said, there will come a time when we will not even be able to buy water. वो होगा ही नहीं, खत्म. So let's change how we understand water. I'll just speed ahead. I think we're also tight on time, and I want all of you to ask ma'am more questions. So Tisha, I think we can just, this I won't go through. It's a long study and we can do it with all of you later. Itni bhi jaldi mat jao, they'll get giddy, Tisha. So I want you to just look at, go back and think of 2 cities which have a lot of water wisdom. जहां पे तालाब ऐसे बने हैं कि वहां कभी पानी की प्रॉब्लम अभी तक हुई नहीं. Just hold here, Tisha. And that is, one is a city called Udaipur, जहां बहुत सारे झील हैं, बहुत सारे तालाब हैं, and they flow one into the other. They are at different levels. तो जब ये भर जाता है बारिश के पानी से, पानी और नीचे जाता है, फिर और नीचे जाता है, फिर और नीचे जाता है, and all the lakes are full. So what do lakes do? They replenish our groundwater. So it's very important to catch the rain, like ma'am is saying. You can't catch it in your hand, but you can harvest it, right? So you will, as you grow up, understand how these things are done. But do study the lakes of Udaipur and Bhopal to understand water wisdom of the past. तो पहले की जो generations थी, उन्होंने हमारे लिए पानी को सही छोड़ा, पर हम क्या कर पा रहे हैं? Right? I think that's a question. Let's just go ahead, Tisha. We can skip this. We'll show you this presentation when we meet you for an individual session. Let's just skip all this and go ahead to what they can do. These are all very pretty pictures, and the challenge is to keep it looking pretty. Yeah. Okay. So I'll just take another 2 minutes, Archana ma'am, if that's okay. We'll go to the next slide, Tisha. So the first word I wanted to leave you with was access. अगर हमें हर चीज आसानी से मिल जाती है ना, we value it less. आजकल बिजली आसानी से मिल रही है तो हम बिजली वेस्ट करते हैं, कभी एसी ऑन रह जाता है, कभी पंखा ऑन रह जाता है. हमें खाना आसानी से मिलता है तो हम खाना भी वेस्ट करते हैं. उसी तरह पानी के साथ भी होता है. So I think we have to start as young water warriors, and those of you doing this lovely program supported by the National Water Mission, Jal ITIHAAS, all of you are the change makers. ये जो विजुअल है कि लोग बाल्टी और घड़े प्लास्टिक के भर रहे हैं, ये आप लोगों की रियलिटी आज नहीं है. But don't be surprised that it becomes your reality very soon. 8 years ago, did any of you, your parents or your teachers think कि pollution के कारण स्कूल बंद होंगे? हमने कभी नहीं सोचा था. और हम आज ये नहीं सोच रहे हैं कि शायद पानी नहीं है घर में तो स्कूल बंद होगा. I hope it never happens, because all of you will take the efforts to bring change. But I think we're all saying that it can happen. It's not something जो हमें नहीं होगा, ये गांव में होगा. नहीं, ये हमें भी हो सकता है. Yeah, Disha, can we go ahead? Because we are sucking out water, our bowlies are drying up, and you know that when you visit the bowli, you'll know our rivers are polluted. All of you very well know the sources of this pollution. That's what some of our rivers and the river bed looks like. One more thing I just want to say, and then we'll close, is how you can make a change is by not wasting. And not wasting, no, one sec, Tisha, just one point. Definitely not buying more plastic bottles is one way where you don't waste. There is no harm अगर आप घर से 2 थर्मस स्कूल लेके आए एक के बजाय. आप जितना प्लास्टिक बॉटल खरीदेंगे जब आप छुट्टी पे जाते हैं विद फैमिली एंड पेरेंट्स भी से ओ पानी खत्म हो गया आगे गाड़ी रोकना थोड़ा 3 बोतल ले लें. Right? So let's discipline our minds to not do that. And it's just a small habit that we need to change. The other message that I want to leave you with is everything is interconnected. When you become a change maker, soil is connected, air is connected, pollution is connected, water is connected, animals are connected. कौन सा त्योहार अभी आने वाला है 2 दिन में? सबको पता है दिवाली. और दिवाली पे does the planet belong only to us? Does the city of Delhi belong only to us, or does it belong to birds, to dogs, to cows, to horses? It belongs to everybody, right? I do know that this year you have the permission to light crackers. But after this session, I want all of you to think, should you light those crackers and pollute your atmosphere? I leave you with that thought, and I'm sure you'll all be change makers. And once again, I thank Archana ma'am personally in her capacity as a huge encouraging force to ITIHAAS and helping us reach out to you and the National Water Mission for all its support. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thanks a lot, Smita ma'am, for a quick but a very highlighting very significant points through your presentation. And as you rightly said, just because we have easy access now doesn't mean we will have easy access in future to water if we don't start thinking about conservation right now. And thank you for guiding the students in how they can actually do their bit in saving water. We have questions from the students coming up in the chat. So, ma'am, Archana, should we take questions first?
Yeah, we should.
Okay. So, there's a question from APJ School. APJ School, do you want to come on the screen and ask your question?
That would be better.
Yeah. APJ School, you can turn your mic on and ask your question.
I am Superval of APK School Pikafola, and I want to ask that Yamuna has been polluted for years, and now how can we as the children, along with the government, can help to make it clean?
I didn't quite hear, Ananya, did you hear what was the question?
About making something clean, I think. Can you
The
repeat your question?
Yamuna.
Yamuna. Okay.
Yamuna.
Okay. Okay. They're talking about the river. Okay.
Okay, that's a very smart question. And
May I ask again?
you are not visible on screen, so can you just go behind and yeah. Your
Okay.
name?
Ayan.
Ayank.
Ayan.
Ayan. Yes, Ayan. Just say it slowly so that I can hear.
Ma'am, I want to ask that the river Yamuna has been polluted for years, and now how can we as the children, along with the government, can help to make it cleaner?
Wow, that's a beautiful question. You see, the first thing that you can do in cleaning River Yamuna is uh, it's a huge issue. It's very political, and there are multiplicity of agencies involved. But the way in which you can help is you spread awareness about keeping Yamuna clean. So, that you can do in school. You can hold poster competitions. You can have debates on why Yamuna is not clean or why is it clean. What are the issues which need focus? You can, have painting competitions. You can have slogan competitions in school. And you can also get in touch with the local authorities and have a clean Yamuna drive. In a little patch of Yamuna, you can plant trees. See, both Namami Gange, Jal Shakti Abhiyan, we all work with the state governments and the municipal corporations and district administration. And we always request them to organize these kind of, activities for school children, both under the Jal Shakti Abhiyan and under the Namami Gange program. So there have been numerous schools which have participated in our programs, wherein either through activities of painting, debating, slogan writing, poetry writing, or the act of cleaning, planting trees. These are all activities that children have taken up. So these are small ways, because you see, you can even petition the government. That would be a very novel way of expressing the voice of the youth, that you can write petitions if it comes from, say 1,500 schools to us, or to the Delhi government or to Haryana government, that we want to. It will be a huge. It will not only be innovative, it will make a huge impact, because everybody finds children cute, and if they, abhi tak we've not heard voices of the children for Yamuna, political voices. So you can petition. Petition is a good way of bringing to attention the concern of the students with regard to the cleanliness of the Yamuna. So these are little ways in which you can do. If you just write individually, it may not have an impact. Like that story where a single stick can be broken, but if the sticks are stuck together, then you can make an impact. And you can also hold inter-school interactions. ITIHAAS is doing a lot in generating awareness. You can have Yamuna walks. You can request your school management to organize walks. You can learn about how the beginnings of Yamuna, where does it originate from, what happens, what are the issues which leads to so much of pollution in certain patches of the Yamuna. You can go and visit those patches like Najafgarh and all, and actually get a hands-on experience of what are the issues confronting the river, and what are the difficulties in getting it cleaned up.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
Uh, Next question is from Meera Model School. Meera Model School, can you come on the screen? And nobody has to raise their hands. We have the order of the questions and we'll call you one by one. Don't worry.
Good morning, ma'am. My name is Nikunj from Meena Model School. So I had a question that Ganga itself is a project. Like many movements and all those abhiyans have been started to clean the water of Ganga. And even our school, we have done many projects on like water pollution. About we have like what we acknowledge the water pollution of Silibang in Indonesia, Thames in England, and then Tangzhou in Taiwan. So what steps are we have been taken to clean and will be taken and also will be taken to clean it, and can we students be part of it so that we can contribute to the nation?
So, Smita, first, I want to tell you that you have a very active political set of students, full of fire.
Yes, and they've been doing this now for almost 4, 5 years in their school. So the ecosystem is all charged up now
Very charged
to
up.
take
I'm
it to the
loving
next
the
level.
way they are holding me to, account. What did you say your name was?
Because
Nikunj. That's a brilliant question. Uh, you see, it's not that, Namami Gange, which started in 2015, it's not that no action had been taken before that to clean the river. But you see, River Ganga, what is one factor which separates river from states? Tell me, what is the difference between states and rivers? Nikunj.
like the one difference might be like states are the whole bodies that need governing only, but rivers can be of different types. Some rivers have spiritual significance, some have like they support lives and all these things. This might be the difference.
Yeah, thanks, Nikunj. Partially right. Actually, states have boundaries and rivers don't have boundaries. River doesn't know whether it's flowing in UP or West Bengal or Uttarakhand or Bihar. So the first issue of River Ganga was that why Namami Gange, why our Honorable PM, reconceptualized Namami Gange was that while there were efforts being taken for cleaning up Ganga before also, what is the difference between then and now is that river Ganga through the Namami Gange program or a mission, it's an authority, is that river basin is the Ganga, which where does Ganga originate from?
The Gangoti Glacier.
Yes. So river, Smita, can you just switch off the Zoom? You shared
I think
some
you have
screen.
shared your screen by mistake.
So you see, Nikunj, what has happened is that what is different in Namami Gange is that the whole Ganga is considered as one. Earlier, it was either, Ganga flowing in Uttar Pradesh, Ganga originating in Uttarakhand, Ganga, flowing down in Bihar, West Bengal. So this Namami Gange Authority takes care of the whole river basin. It doesn't, and it does that. See, water is a state subject as per the constitution. So it does that through involving the states and the district Ganga committees. Now, these district Ganga committees prepare a district Ganga plan on how to clean the river. So the foremost, it is built on certain pillars. One is Aviral Ganga. Aviral is that it will always be flowing. The second is Nirmal Ganga concept, that it will always be clean. Third is Arth Ganga, that it will generate, a lot of livelihood for people, because you just cannot keep the river clean and shoo the people away and say that, okay, we only now consider the river. So that's Arth Ganga, where you monetize Ganga, but at the same time without disturbing the ecosystem. And the fourth most important concept is Gyan Ganga, where Ganga's extreme knowledge over the ages is documented and kept. So these are the four most important pillars on which this Namami Gange policy has been made, and where the implementation is with the district Ganga plan. The focus right now is on cleaning the Ganga. And how is it done? You can't just go and start digging the river. So you have to ensure what are the tributaries and channels which are reaching Ganga and then polluting. So what do? You make these, and so what has been seen is, you must have seen around the town also, that there's so many drains which are full of plastics. There's sewage flowing, which just go and pollute Ganga. So what is the first step? The focus right now is building the sewage treatment plants. So these sewage treatment plants are the pillars of the Namami Gange program, where they make the sewage flow into these treatment plants. They treat the sewage, and then it flows out as clean water to the Ganga. Then there are ways to ensure that plastics are also, treated. So this is basically the Namami Gange program. How you children can participate? Namami Gange, through its districts, continuously holds a lot of children, involves children and schools in their activities. So basically, the district authorities would be the best people, where your teacher, your principal can approach and say that your school volunteers to for the Namami Gange program, for the Jal Shakti Abhiyan. And these are generally through tree plantation participation. They are like under the Jal Shakti Abhiyan, millions of schools have started planting trees. And we are, even if they approach us, we are even helping them with seedlings. So through tree plantation is a great way to stop the soil from eroding, from also the embankment of the river can be saved. And through these poster competition, debate competition, rangoli making is another thing which is happening a lot in Namami Gange program. And spreading awareness, like even if each one teach one was something, when we were in school we were told to do that, each one should be teaching one. So each one of you can teach another about the importance of water conservation, about keeping the rivers and water bodies clean. And not only the rivers, the water bodies in town also, because they are the ones which ultimately feed into the rivers. So those are little ways. You can start with your home, and then you can start with your school, and then you can start with society. Go and see and do a water audit in your home today. How much of water are your parents wasting? Just audit that. How are you cleaning? Are you doing it? Are you washing the car with a pipe, or are you getting it cleaned with a bucket of water? Are you taking shower more than 5 minutes? Or are you using? So do that water auditing, and a lot of your answers and how you can contribute will be met just through this little act of water auditing at home.
Thank you, ma'am. I completely agree with your opinion. And yes, ITIHAAS has also been supporting us for the past years. Today only, ITIHAAS has sent us like 25 planters to plant it in our schools. And yes, I also am a very fond of trees, plants, and rivers. I also want to be a biologist in the future. And then I
Okay.
also like to study the water and electricity bills of my home. That's a habit I follow.
Great. That
we-
is ITIHAAS teaching water, electricity bills.
They have to
Great,
study
Nikunj, all the best.
They have to study their bills, and they have to do school and home water audits. Okay.
Thank you, Meera Model School. We have Tagore International School next. Tagore International School, if you could just come on the screen and ask your question. Is there anybody from Tagore International School?
Good afternoon,
I
ma'am.
could see, yes. Yeah.
Ek minute, Jyoti India Foundation, may I see a child being beaten up by somebody? That's not
Good afternoon,
on.
ma'am.
Just a moment. नवज्योति, क्या हो रहा है भाई? बच्चे तुम लोग क्या कर रहे हो कि हंगामा हो रहा है? शांति से बैठो. अब नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन कोई नवज्योति इंडिया फाउंडेशन से पूछेगा। ये जो लाल टोपी में है ना, ये मुझसे अगला सवाल पूछेगा। लाल टोपी में जो नवज्योति इंडिया फाउंडेशन में बैठा है, अगला सवाल तुमसे होगा। हाँ, yes to God. What's your name?
Good afternoon, ma'am. My name is Aditi Ranjan. Yes. Ma'am, my question is, how can we manage and conserve water resources to achieve long-term water security?
My God, that you leave it to policy makers. I mean, whatever I've said, you just do that. You do these small, small little actions. You are asking a question which is so big, and it'll take me hours and hours to, go into the macro perspective of water. So, Abhi to Aditi, you said your name was, na? Aditi,
Yes, ma'am.
Abhi, you do the small, small things. And every a journey begins with a step or something like that, with a small step.
Yes.
So take some baby steps and don't bother about the macro picture right now. Get into the smaller details of everyday life of saving water.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
हाँ.
Excuse me, ma'am. ये इन
अब
बच्चों को ना-
अगला क्वेश्चन मुझसे
Excuse me, ma'am.
नहीं नवज्योति नहीं
Pacific World, please switch off your mic.
नवज्योति इंडिया फाउंडेशन
हेलो
जो
मैम.
हेलो
हाँ जी मैम.
ये जो लड़का लाल टोपी में है और ग्रीन शर्ट में, ये मुझसे पानी के बारे में पूछेगा. पुट नवज्योति इन द सेंटर.
मैम एक मिनट सुनिए तो सही. मैम बच्चों का एग्जाम है, इनको स्कूल पहुंचना है 12:30 बजे, तो इसलिए
अच्छा.
बच्चे हल्ला कर रहे हैं. इनको मैं भेज रही हूँ मैम.
हाँ, तो बस एक छोटा सा क्वेश्चन पूछ के आप चले जाइए.
कुछ पानी के बाद
नाम बताओ प्लीज.
नाम बताओ अपना.
My name is Rihan.
Yes, Rehan. Now you ask me a question.
Ma'am, what is the water?
Yes, that is अच्छा पूछे हो कि मोस्ट बेसिक क्वेश्चन है कि पानी क्या होता है. पानी बताओ, उसका केमिकल कंपाउंड क्या होता है. पानी होता है हाइड्रोजन और ऑक्सीजन का कॉम्बिनेशन H2O. जब तुम लोग अभी किस क्लास में हो? 8th में. तो H2O सुने हो?
हाइड्रोजन सुने हो?
Hydrogen. Yes.
अच्छा, ये बताओ कि तुम्हारे स्कूल में पानी आती है?
Yes.
घर में पानी आती है? पानी को तुम लोग बचाते हो कि ऐसे ही खर्च कर देते हो? चलो बहुत अच्छे. अभी तुम लोग का ऑल द बेस्ट फॉर योर एग्जाम. अगर तुम लोग निकलो जल्दी से, एंड ऑल द बेस्ट. और नेक्स्ट टाइम ये सारे बेसिक क्वेश्चन स्मिता मैम से जरूर पूछना.
Thank you.
ओके, थैंक यू.
थैंक यू मैम.
बाय.
We have Pacific School next, Pacific World School. You can now switch on your mic and ask your question. Pacific World.
Also, Ananya, I just want to say that please don't feel obliged to give every school an opportunity. I'm sure Archana ma'am has a busy schedule. So it's
Yeah, we have
fine in case
meeting,
everybody
so
doesn't
maybe
get a
I'll
chance.
just take this question if it's not a repeat.
Yeah,
Sure,
I think
sure.
the
12:30
question,
I have a meeting. Huh.
if the question is what they have written in the chat, the question is how to consciously save water, and I think we have discussed it at length. Ma'am has already answered it. If that is the question, Pacific World School, then I hope
कोई
it is
दूसरा
answered.
क्वेश्चन हो, कोई यूनिक क्वेश्चन
Yeah,
हो, या
Lotus
कोई
Valley had a question.
सजेशन हो. क्वेश्चन ना भी हो, कुछ तुम बोलना चाहते हो तो बोलो.
Lotus Valley.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Like I am Shreya Mishra from 7G in Pacific World School. So I just wanted to ask, now earlier the people were saving water, but now they just waste the water for the future generation. So what should we contribute Could you give a idea kind of like how to save the water and contribute?
Okay, I think I've already answered that question. You know, when you are brushing your teeth, close the tap. If your mom is like, if you have a RO at home, please ensure that the RO reject water gets, doesn't get wasted, and you clean up your house with that reject water. If your garden, don't use a pipe to garden to water your lawns. Use buckets. Don't waste water. If you're drinking in a glass and you have water left, go and water a plant. Don't throw that water in the glass. So there are very many small ways. As I had already said, water audit karo. See where water is getting wasted.
Thank you, ma'am. Can we take one last question from Lotus Valley and then we'll be done? Lotus Valley, please ask your question and quickly you can ask a question. Yeah.
Good afternoon, ma'am. I am Sanidhya Sinha from Lotus Valley International School, Noida Extension. My question is that are the like Yamuna and Ganga rivers they are getting polluted nowadays? So how are they cleaned? Like how can they be cleaned?
I think I already answered this
That was,
question,
yes.
Ananya,
There
that,
was a question from Lotus Valley. How is Jal Shakti campaign different from earlier water conservation programs? That is what they had written in the chat. So I thought that is the question that is coming up. But
okay.
yeah, we have.
So Jal Shakti campaign, for the first time, is a campaign which puts community at the center of everything, of water conservation. Never before a campaign in water has focused so much on the community as the vanguard of water preservation and water conservation. So that is how Jal Shakti Abhiyan is different from the earlier campaigns, which were, also on water. There have been many other schemes and policies, but so much of community focus is only coming now.
Thank you, ma'am. This is it with the questions. There are a lot of questions coming, but I think we will have another session in the future with the children so that they can ask more questions. And thank you, Smita ma'am, for joining us today. Thank you for your wonderful presentation. Archana ma'am, can we just have your last words and reflections on Smita ma'am's presentation and anything else that you want to add?
So, I would like to congratulate Smita, first of all, that she's a very compassionate human being. She always looks or, ensures that the other is feeling comfortable, because often I've found speakers who go on talking and don't give a chance to others, kids, to speak. So, first of all, I would like to congratulate her on the brevity and the focus of her presentation, and for all the work that ITIHAAS is doing in general conservation of heritage, and is now also focusing on water. We have a MOU with the ITIHAAS, and that's how all the children here are now you're part of the Jal Shakti campaign now that you are with Smita ma'am, because you're all part of the ITIHAAS organization, which is also a part of the National Water Mission. So I hope that, all of you, तुम लोग सब जो है, ये जो पानी इतनी जरूरी है, इसको बस एक थॉट की तरह हमेशा अपने ब्रेन में रखो, और जो थॉट हमेशा ब्रेन में रहता है वो फाइनली वो एक्शन में भी परिवर्तित हो जाता है. So keep that in mind, and all the best for a very bright future, all of you. And thank you, Smita.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Archana ma'am, and thank you, Smita ma'am, and thank you to all the wonderful students for their questions, and thank you to all the schools for joining us today. Thanks a lot, everyone, for being here with us for the 63rd Water Talk, and we'll be back with the next edition. Thank you for a wonderful interactive session.
Thank you.
Thank you.